I always get a lot of messages about coloring books. People want to know, how do you create a coloring book business? So today I'm going to be talking about how to start your coloring book business. But before I get started, go ahead and subscribe now. Do it now, y'all, so that I know you like videos like this and so that you can be notified when I create more videos like these. Okay, so coloring books are a great way to relieve stress, just explore your creativity, have fun. And my hope is to inspire future creatives, Black artists, and entrepreneurs to bring their imaginations and artwork to life to create a source of income for yourself. Whether that be a side hustle for you or whether you want to establish an actual business earning six figures like my coloring book company, entrepreneurscolortoo. One of the best things you can do is start your own online business. And who wouldn't want to start a business when you have the option to start for so little money and in some cases no money at all? Now, there are multiple ways to get started, but today I want to talk about getting started the easy way. In 2018, I was going through a stressful time at work and I needed some stress relief of my own, honey. So coloring books were suggested to me. And I really hadn't colored since I was a child, right? But when they were suggested, I thought about it and I started searching on Amazon and looking up coloring books that I could find that were like me. So I was looking for Black women in the coloring books on Amazon. Now, at this time, I could not find any Black women adult coloring books that I wanted to color. So I just settled and purchased some coloring books with like patterns inside of it and just used those. And then later on, this was like months later, I was praying and I was asking God, what should I do next in life business-wise? And he said, publish a book, and gave me the title 24 Shades of Business. So I knew the title and I knew that I was going to publish a book, but I didn't know any actual people that had published before. So I couldn't really lean on anybody to get advice specifically, or trusted advice, I guess you can say, because I didn't know them. So I took the idea that I heard him say to me, and I also remembered when I needed coloring books myself for stress relief, I couldn't find any that looked like me. So I knew it was going to be a business coloring book. So I decided that I was going to create a coloring book for women like me. Because the thing that I see a lot, even now, is people will actually complain about something that's missing from the market when they do have the ability to create it. So if you have the ability to make something that you see is missing, instead of complaining that it's missing, you should take it into your hands and create your own. You can do it. You can do this, guys. I get a lot of messages saying, I don't know where to start. I don't know what type of book to create. Use your life experiences along with your research to determine what you should actually create to fill a void. So after I had my idea, then I started looking for my illustrator, found my illustrator online by going to Amazon and looking up some of the children's coloring books. And any of the books that I saw that I liked the artwork, I looked inside to see if the illustrator was listed. Then I started doing more coloring book research. And what I mean by research is I started looking at books that were selling well, like some of the best-selling books on the market. I would look at what they had inside, how many pages they had, how was the layout of the book. And I even purchased a couple of my own just so I could see them in person so that I could see. And I noticed things like there was a blank page on the back of some of the sheets. This was to prevent bleed, like if anybody's coloring with, let's say, a marker or something, so that when you flip the page over, it won't get onto to the next page. So I noticed things like that. I took note of the prices that people had. I looked at the lowest prices that I saw for coloring books as well as the highest price. And I was like, I want mine to be somewhere in the middle. So I was gathering market research from all of the things that I was looking at already published that was going well and that was not going well, because I knew that the things that had bad reviews, I didn't want to do any of those things, and I only wanted to learn from the mistakes that were already presented on the market. So then after I had the book information, meaning the title name, I had done a little research, then I was trying to figure out what publishing company I wanted to publish with. So I did my research on that. I looked and compared the companies to see what they were offering, what their royalties were for their authors, what was their reach? Was it only in the United States? Was it worldwide? I looked at all of the different companies, and I initially went with Lulu. And what happened was I didn't even publish a coloring book for my first book. I decided, a coloring book is going to cost me some money, because I knew I wanted my images to be original images that were drawn by an artist. So if you're going to get an artist, you're going to pay some good money. It's especially if the artist knows their worth. You know, you're going to pay for that artwork. And so I was like, well, instead of me paying all this money up front, let me just test the waters out, because like I said, I was new to self-publishing and I just wanted to test the waters before I put my book out there. So I tested it and I published a journal on Lulu. And the journal was like a sermon notes journal, right? So when I published it, I of course ordered an author copy, and then I just had it on my dresser one day. And one day my mom came by my house and she just saw it on the dresser and she was like, "What's this?" And I was like, "Oh, it's just a little sermon notes journal that I had made, and I'm gonna just take notes at church and, you know, experiment with it and stuff like that. See how I like it, just to get me through the publishing process, to understand it. So that when I create mine, I'll have better knowledge of what needs to go into the creation process." So my mom looked at it and she was like, "Oh my God, I love it." She was like, "I'm about to get these for some of the ministers." So she ordered some books and then she gave them as gifts. And then when she gave them as gifts, the other people loved the gifts, so they wanted to get some. So I was like, okay, maybe you really can make money online from publishing. So I was like, you know, I was feeling good about it because, you know, this wasn't even the book that I was going to publish. This was just my tester book. So I started on Lulu because they had Spiral Bound and a couple other reasons that I don't even remember altogether, but it was they were what I needed at the time. Then I started hearing more about KDP. So I said, you know, I'm hearing a lot about KDP and I like the things that they're offering. So I'm going to publish my coloring book on KDP. They all basically have the same process, meaning you have to have 2 files, which are your interior and then of course your cover creation. So I went through that whole process, and I love the fact that they were considered print-on-demand companies, which meant that I did not have to stock any inventory, because usually when you think of like starting a business, you think of ordering in quantity. So you have to stock them in your house or your basement, and you don't know if you're going to be able to sell all of them. You're just hopeful that you are going to be able to sell them. But with print-on-demand, you don't actually have to have any inventory in stock. Once you actually get a purchase from a customer, then the company will actually print the book and ship it to the customer. So you don't have to worry about shipping and you don't have to worry about customer service. So those were all things that I was like head over heels about, because I was like, yes, this is going to be like passive income. I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. So I found my publishing company that I wanted to use. Now, of course, once you sign up for your publishing company, one of the first things you're going to have to do is figure out how you're going to want to set up your business. Will it be a business? Will it just be in your name? You will want to go through and just figure out what's best for you and your situation. So I ended up setting it up as an LLC. Now, I didn't do this originally. I actually went back and did this later once I figured out that I was going to be publishing more books, because originally I just thought I was going to be publishing that one book. So once I determined what my actual goals were going to be further down the line, I went back in and set up as an LLC. Then I started learning how to design things using Canva. So I was watching YouTube videos trying to figure out how to design. I learned how to do it. And that's how I actually create all of the artwork or designs for my covers, because when my illustrator gives me the picture, I then take that picture and I add designs to it, the title to it, and, you know, just put the whole cover together how I want it to be. Now, if you don't have design skills or you're not that tech savvy, then you can hire other people to design your covers, like Upwork. You could even maybe ask your illustrator if they design covers for you. So that's something that you do have the option to do. And then once I figured out how to do my covers, I had my artwork, and all I needed was those 2 files to upload to KDP, which was your interior and your cover. That's all you need, are those 2 files to upload to KDP to publish your book. And of course, the walkthrough process of uploading, you have to just follow the steps. There's basically 3 sections that you're following when you're uploading. So you want to make sure you're researching your keywords, want to make sure that you're researching your title information, make sure it's optimized correctly so that people can find it when they're looking. So think like you're the customer that's actually researching stuff. And whatever you would actually put in as the customer, those are the keywords and those are the types of things you want to include. So once you follow those steps, upload your stuff, go ahead and get your proof copy, and then you can look at everything in person. If you needed to make changes like I did, when I first got my proof copy, there were some words that I needed to make changes on. I had a crossword puzzle in there I needed to update because something wasn't adding up in that. So I just had a few things that I needed to update, which is why a proof copy is so important, because you want to be able to look at it and see it in person, feel it. Is it thick enough? Do you think you need to have more pages included? Just little things like that. So basically, that is how I created my coloring book. And like I said, you can do the same. And I encourage you to just start. That is going to be the key. A lot of people have questions about a lot of things, but the key is just starting. If you get stuck and if you notice that something isn't right, go back in and change it. But the key is starting. So I encourage you to get started, and you can do this. You got this. All it takes is one book at a time. So go ahead and start brainstorming what you want your coloring book to look like. Of course, when I'm talking, my dog has a squeaker in the background, so I'm sorry, y'all, but that's just her. But yes, I want you to be encouraged, and I want you to start your business. And again, if you like this type of content or if this video was helpful, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe, okay? I will talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.